Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Back once again. Hope everyone is having a wonderful night. I look a little weird. Got glasses. So old, man. First. Can't see distance. So was told to wear them all day though. Not happy about it. Trying to get used to it. It's really weird. But we live on. Guess there's worse things that could happen, you know. But if anyone is notices any issues, I mess with a bunch of random stuff, so I most likely broke something in stream. So let me know if it does break. And hopefully my chats work correctly. Sorry about that. Slow start. Making sure everything's working. Hopefully everyone's doing wonderful. I am doing long day. What is the struggle? What's up, Oozin? How's it going? Type in the YouTube chat as well if you can real fast. I just want to make sure these new chat things work. I got no clue these days. I don't know what's happening anymore. There we go. All right, we did it. Think we're good. I'm testing out less crap, so I'm using just regular chats in OBS docs. Because I don't know what I want to do with my life, man. I can't decide. Just testing everything right now. Got really annoyed that I couldn't see your gifted subs yesterday, so, or went Monday? Monday. I was like, you know, that's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Just be lurking and listening for a bit. I'll be driving. Hope your day is doing good. It's doing great. Safe travels. Okay, let's see. How was I gonna do this? Okay, well, good stuff, good stuff. A Daisy streamer I like has a rifle shot sound for a jump scare. It cost me 10k channel points, but I timed it well and scared him. Oh no. Sounds like my nightmare. You would. You would. See how it is. Everyone just wants to scare Timber. Dang it. Get out of the way. I'm trying to make these potentially more circular, I guess is the way I can put it right now. I'm not really sure if that's like how it's going to end up, but we'll see. Looking at some ideas for the points. Good, good, good. I feel like I need to get them added, so I was just looking at Twitch and stuff, and I was like, you know, probably should like make some rewards. Twitch feels like an afterthought to me right now, so spending a little time messing with stuff. I also messed with the quality of things a little bit. I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to look all that different, but didn't necessarily look bad before, so. But trying to make things better. Get closer. Yeah. Oh no. Not sure how this is gonna look. Yeah, it's kind of what I was worried about. It's not like a big enough. We could bring it out. What would that make it? 9? A 9-piece circle? Still gives the same. Just using a circle calculator. Ugh. I also kind of like the idea of like this tapering in a little bit. So I need to start the bottom a little bit bigger, I think, is what I'm noticing right now. Naturally, I just got way too ahead of myself. Never done that before. Me, never. Yeah, I can't even think of like what's a good channel point. Like the vast majority of the ones I always mess with on other people's streams is like trying to get VIP or something. Like just gambling points to get VIP. It's about all I ever think about. See-Through had some fun ones, but his stuff was like so many random. It's a lot more work. A lot of people using sounds and unlock a random sub emote. The Daisy guy had one where the person picks something he can't do for a set amount of time. Yeah. See, I like See-Through's messing with them ones were fun. I just don't want it to be like too. I don't want it to interfere like too much with the stream. So it's like finding a balance where I don't necessarily have a problem with them, but I mean, I think we could put like cooldowns and stuff on them as well, but it's finding a balance of fun that doesn't just completely stop us from building the whole time. They have to cost enough so they can build up for it, yeah. Which with how much I stream, like, would kind of work itself out, most likely, just because it's with enough points. It's hard to get points when you don't stream a ton. I have 10k? Holy cow. That's why you wanted to make it 10k? Convenient. I almost need to just remove this stuff. It's like just too in the way to figure out where this thing's gonna go. The struggle of experimenting. I often get ahead of myself. But now we can just make it better, which I think is good. Sometimes you have to tear things down, grow them back. This one looks. Oops. The VIP thing? Yeah. The VIP thing just makes sense. It's like the perfect way to earn VIP. Like, spend a lot of time in the stream. That always makes a lot of sense, has made a lot of sense to me. Not everyone can spend a lot of money and that kind of thing, so time invested as well is a good one. But that is part of the struggle. figuring out what it should be. Okay. So we're looking at this currently. I'm just trying to figure out a good sphere. Sphere? It's definitely not a sphere. It's a cylinder. What we're trying to do here. Figure out how this tower, how big this tower is going to be. The struggle. Are there editable text signs? I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough. I know you can modify like emotes and stuff. It's a cylinder. Timber 2024. 2024. I think that hit might have been too much. I stumbled over that word too. maybe we shouldn't have taken hits before stream is what I'm feeling like right now. Feeling like a miss. What am I doing? How's this gonna work? That. Or who's using granite? Who using granite here? Someone must be messing with me. Something else could be a sign or an armor stand placed somewhere. That'd be an interesting way, like, because apprentice, I think the journeyman builder, you get your name in the hall of, or what it was called. You get your name in like the hall of whatever, which like was the temple in Grounded, but it's got kind of ideas. It's gonna be a build in every game I play. So at that point, it's like whatever the hall of subs or people of in the community. So we could do that'd be an interesting one. My notebook was sitting here. It's always over on the side. Slowly just gotta make stream a little bit better, little by little. Let's see. So many things. Struggle, man. Ugh. Wait, I thought I had emotes. That'll be the page. What's with your back tire on the bike? It's a bike trainer. So the back tire is over on the wall, by the wall. It's just so I can pedal inside. Because it's always snowy in the winter here, so I set my bike up on that. And then during the middle of the day or lunch or whatever, during work, I can just hop on the bike and pedal for a little while. But one of the company I work for reps Ceres products. Which is, so it's a Ceres bike trainer. Scare, we could do the scare one probably. I'm such a frickin' so jumpy. So that scare one is gonna be the worst for me. I have a nice treadmill. It's covered in boxes and random crap. That's why this is in my office, because otherwise I would just not use it. It's too easy. I have a freaking home gym in my garage. I still barely use it. Yeah, that moves back a little bit. These are just like this. So if we got up higher, we could do something like... That wasn't centered. Change it to like a square or something. Could be a smaller circle. And this could work. Trial and error at the end of the day. My wife has like a walking treadmill. Nothing too fancy. Okay, this could work. Let's go make a day. What did I do off stream? I did that off stream? That's hard to see. Yikes. Need to order one of those wheels for my cats. We just have a walking treadmill. But I'd probably have more fun in one of those wheels. I need one for my dog at this point. It's hard to want to go on walks and stuff when it's 30 degrees. And snowing. I swear. Is that not moving? Hurry up. I need daytime. Come on. Make it day. Only speeds up the nighttime. The mini amusement park type thing. They had a huge hamster wheel. Watching people fly off it gave me joy. That's been what, I have no clue why my mom found this random hamster show on YouTube, and it's just like an obstacle. It's like if you've seen Wipeout, but for hamsters. So it's like miniature little obstacle courses that this hamster walks through. And my son is like obsessed, like locked in every time she turns it on. I'm like, what a weird thing, man. I'm over here like trying to make like educational videos, and there's people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers making hamster obstacle courses. Like, what am I doing with my life? I could have bought a hamster and just made it do things. It's literally though, like they have the like pop socket things, which is just a bunch of little domes, and you push them and they pop to the other side, and then you flip it over and pop it back. And they're like silicone, and kids love them. My niece is obsessed. And it's like, I don't like the shape of this. They had those, like there was one that was like the shape of the foot, not of a foot. Not that really matters, but it was like on a thing, and so the hamster's walking like on this little path, and it's just like doing this little thing. It's got going over like little spinning wheels. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like a serious hamster challenge. A hamster broke out of its cage when I was a kid and tried to become Pikachu by chewing through an extension cord. My freaking parrot did that, dude. It was literally my what's up, Beans? How's it going? Our son Conyer did that. I still have my my charging cord on my tablet is still has holes in it. Okay, I think we got to make this one bigger. And I thought it was going to be weird. It needs to have a little bit more like depth to it. This is a little too simple. Which, you know, that's part of the struggle. But now it's 5, so we could start it here. And then 2, and then it goes 5. So much planning. My son loves those hamster videos too. I just literally never heard of it. And like, my mom just is like, she doesn't give a crap. So she just like sends it. And he watches hours of hamster videos. I'm like, what the heck are you doing, Mom? Why hamster videos? It's more entertaining than it should be. That's for sure. Was 1 off. Can't count. Whoa, is that crazy? Ooh, that. We were talking about you last stream. Velocity was trying to say that he trolled more than you did. Still doesn't feel right. I don't know. Dang it. Maybe I need to move it. Then it's over one. That doesn't make any sense. Dang it. Hamsters always die the most horrific ways. I mean, they're unfortunately really dumb to struggle. This is a struggle. No shot. That's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, he's never committed to being a completely different person for an extended period of time. How can you top that? No, you don't need to. That's the thing. You don't need to up your game. Your game is peaked. It was plenty high enough. Okay, so maybe this probably needs to line up with this at least. I have no clue what I'm doing. Hope you're doing good though, Crazy. Good to hear from you. I was worried you had disappeared. Could do like that. That would add a little more detail in at least. Not very good with these circles yet. It's a real struggle. Years of Minecraft experience would have been good. I think it's time to elect a new president. Jeremy fell off a little bit. He's been busy. Pretty sure he was moving. I think he's... I mean, I don't know if he's done, but... It sounded like he was at least moved in a bit more now, so... Might come back to challenge the throne. See, jeez. We really need to figure out what that would ever be. Like, I think that's part of the issue is we never really figured out what that role was ever actually going to do. Yeah, don't do that. Then that's even. If we ever figure out what the role actually does, I think it'd be more entertaining. Question is, do I want this to sit back that far? Kind of messes with my whole thing. I liked the look of this, but this isn't an actual, like... spire. So it doesn't really make sense to try to do it. Remove a couple more of these. Just trying to picture how this is gonna look. Weevil King. Love me a good Weevil King. There's just something majestic about the Weevil in Grounded. I guess if we did it like up in here a little bit, up and around, that's not bad. Guess the thing is I was originally thinking that those. I guess we could start in planning mode. I haven't played Grounded in months. Same. I did one stream just to mess around with things, and then haven't really touched it since. Like semi debating hopping on when the new update's out, but I don't know. Played a lot of Grounded. I enjoy this challenge a bit more as well. I did everything I wanted to do in Grounded. It has been accomplished. Okay, so I think I need to move this over one at least. Could move it. Make this. That doesn't make sense. I think moving it over one kind of makes sense. Fitting it against that. For me, Grounded is exhausted for the most point. Just built so much in it. Playing in Ludorav's world reminded me how miserable it is to try to stream it too, when your world's that big. It's just overkill to try to even, just like everything about it just is more painful. The lag was pretty unbearable. Ludorav's world's even worse than mine. It's painful though. One, two, three, 4, 5. Circle chart. You can only imagine. Yeah, it kind of takes the fun out of it. So bad. Oops. Been playing a lot of Minecraft. This is essentially Minecraft for me. Gives the same vibes building wise. What's up, Grim? How's it going? Hope you're doing good. And we need to move it forward 1, 2. Or we move it over another one. Maybe I just build it up and see what I think. This is a tough choice. Need to break from waiting for the damn yak to give me wolves. So time to watch. Dude, the yaks. I still haven't even... I have one. I have one yak. Long time no see. How's it going, Backwoods? I'm doing good. Having a good time. This doesn't feel like the right placement. I don't know. Something's just off. This is looking phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm having fun. It's definitely tedious, but when stuff starts coming together, it's just like so freaking cool and detailed. It's a lot of planning, though. Just got back into Grounded after a few months break. I've had many months break now. The cathedral type facade is top notch. Thank you. Glad everyone else is liking it. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's been a lot of fun. Facts. New glasses? They are new glasses. Finally decided to embrace the old man in me and get prescription glasses. Trying them out. Seeing how it's been pretty miserable so far. Not the worst thing in the world by any means, but it is. I get like really bad motion sickness, and so having a new prescription, well, like I've never had prescription glasses of any kind. So having them is like these first. It's only been, I got like my sunglasses came Friday, and then I got these 2 days ago, or today is the second day. So it's like painful getting used to them. The first day I just felt like I wanted to puke the whole day. It is so uncomfortable. Quite an irritating process. Get used to them. If I didn't get motion sickness, they probably wouldn't be anywhere near as bad, but whew. Which block is that? Checker floor. I'm almost finished all the quests, but don't have that one. The highly polished stone. It's what most of my build is going to be. Was wondering if you always wore glasses or not. Nope. I finally got tired of it's just distance for me. I can see totally fine up close, but as soon as I get like 5 feet or so, 4 or 5 feet, or depending on how small the text is, like if I lean back really far, chat text is blurry. So finally got some distance prescription glasses and trying to get used to them. It's insane though, like looking out the window and stuff now is like trees just across. We have like a 2-way street in front of my house with like a center barrier that's 3 or 4 feet wide, maybe 5. And so all of that 2 roads is like what, 12 feet or something each, and then it's not even 30, 40 feet across the street really. And it's like I can't see any of the details of the trees or anything. And so then I put glasses on. I'm like, I can see every leaf from across the street. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't feel like I was that blind. It's really just depth perception is what's hard, because my left eye is way worse than my right eye. The doctor literally, when I said the left eye is worse, she kind of laughed. And then when she started doing the test, she's like, wow, you weren't kidding. Your left eye is really bad. Like, I can close my left eye even with my glasses and things are blurry. And my right eye is, like, totally fine. Too much PC time? It might be. That, and I think my left eye is really bad because of, like, the lights that, like, driving on the street, on the roads. And so when the cars are coming towards you, like, I just feel like my left eye is getting blinded constantly. And so I have a feeling it's a little bit of that as well. These freaking car lights are so bright now. And I have, like, super light sensitive eyes because my eyes are blue. That's been interesting. You do have that block, just didn't notice the pattern. Yeah, I haven't used it on, like, the ground very often. I don't even know, like, I don't even think this is necessarily what the material's gonna be. It's gonna be some crazy pattern or something. It won't just be this. It's gonna be a combination of all sorts of stuff. Can you see the shadow areas better with glasses? Not really. It helps with the transition a little bit, though. It's still like this is just too dark. I don't know. That's, like, you just can't even hardly see any of this. So much of it just gets so saturated so fast. I don't know, it's weird. Look, I can see all the way out there now, though. Modern headlights are ridiculous. I totally agree on this. Years ago, when Exxon headlights came in, I'd find myself flicking high beams at people to turn them down. Seriously, though. Like, it literally feels like people's headlights are now high beams. Like, it's so bad. I feel like it's super dangerous, too. Like, I see stars. If I'm driving in, like, the pitch black and someone drives past with, like, white lights, I'm, like, literally see stars for like, a little while. It's, like, it's so irritating. Yeah, the halogens, exactly. Like, high beam back at me and you'd be blind? Yeah, right? There's the struggle. But they really do. They do feel like full-on high beams. Like, I had to get ditch lights for my car because, like, we have the old, like, yellowish lenses on them, so it's not like they're not super bright. You can see decently, but, like, where I live, it is pitch black. Like, there are almost no street lights, and so when it starts getting dark, it gets really dark. And there's so many deer and elk in our area that it's like I had to get ditch lights on the side, like right next to the mirrors, so they point out to the edges and to the ditches of the road. Because I was like, I don't really feel like hitting a deer anytime. White light makes you more tired than the old color too. Interesting. I always found I got really tired because of the distance. It was like such a strain for my eyes. So I've noticed like driving is more comfortable in general as well, which has been nice. Sunglasses are great. I've gotten used to my sunglasses really, really fast. I think having shades makes it a little less little less painful, like trying to focus. I find like with these glasses I'm more like squinting a lot, trying to get used to the prescription, whereas the sunglasses ease that pain a little bit. Do you know Jim Trillipsum, son? No. I shade a lot of my art with lines, and sometimes my eyes shake, so I need to go see if I need glasses. Honestly, I'm not happy about it, because like it is just more of a pain to have them, but at the same time, like the amount better I can see is incredible. Like it's such an improvement. Just don't know what I want to do with this. I think I need to move this whole thing over one. It's like close, but it's not quite there. Could do contacts. The issue is if I even think about touching my eyes start watering. Like the definition, so like my brother and I would be the same exact thing. He's had glasses for forever. I'm super lucky. I stole all the good genes in our family. Got very lucky. He got screwed big time in the gene pool. But he is now working in a He's not a police officer or anything, but he works for a city. It's like a city job. And one of the requirements was that if you have glasses, you have to get contacts. And so to get the job, he had to switch to contacts. And it was the funniest thing watching him because he was so freaking miserable. Just like trying to get him in. They were driving him nuts. Ugh. Like, my eyes start watering when I could walk down a hallway and my eyes will start watering. It's just like they're super, that like the blue eyes in general just like are much more sensitive to that stuff. So like I'm always wearing, I guess that's the nice thing, I'm always wearing like sunglasses or something. So I'm used to something on my face. It's just a prescription that I'm trying to get used to now. I like in my wedding, my wife stood in the we were both in the direct sun, but she bit the bullet so she knew we could get good pictures for our wedding, because she knew if I was standing in the sun, I would be just like squinting the whole time, like, hi, I can't see, what's happening? It's just bad. And then the second our vows and the ceremony was done, I was tossed my sunglasses back on. It's like so uncomfortable for my eyes to have any excessive light like that. I could probably wear my sunglasses inside with stream with my little lights that I have. Neither do I, of course. Of course you don't. Should I have expected anything else? That's what I get for telling you the story of Velocity. Oh. Uzin? That was for you. I'll punish myself, don't worry. Been a long enough day. I swear that's just flavored air. It's medicine. So you're the one from that old song, I wear my sunglasses at night, literally. Funny enough, like my vision was bad enough the other night when I first got them. I enjoyed being able to see in the car driving home from picking up my son, that I literally just wore my sunglasses at night, because I was like, although it makes it harder to see in some aspects, like the extra distance that I get to see, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just keep wearing these for a little while, because this was incredible. You don't really like realize how much of a difference like good vision is. Because like for a long time I had 20/20 vision. Like I've always had really good vision. But the last couple years I've noticed it like tapering off. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll get checked out just to see. This is probably the way to go. I can also like pull this out one more block or something too. Maybe just delete. No, kind of needs to be there. Had a make Uzin take a hit thing for the points. You need tower, falling, and flying island emotes. One of the emotes I'm gonna make is gonna be, so my logo is my Bernese Mountain Dog, who is an absolute like just klutz of a goofball of a dog. Like love him to death. He's an absolute klutz. And so I was like, you know, the whole name Timber fits really well with the idea of like falling. That looks interesting. I didn't know it did that. Huh. That's kind of cool. So I want to do a timber emote. And so it's just like timber, because it fits with so many things. So it could fall, it could be the falling one, because I'm always falling to my death. Especially in this game, but I feel like I did that in Grounded as well. And then it would be like the same sort of styling as my other emotes, the like Build King and stuff, but it'd be like a Timber, the dog, leaping and like hitting a set of building blocks essentially, and they're like exploding all over the place. So it would fit the falling down, me breaking things, me dying to stupid things. I think it would cover a couple basic funny things from the channel. So I need to get that one made. I don't think I have any other ones I've really thought of though. Wait, did that do that? It did do that. Does that look good? I think that looks better actually. Hard to tell. See as we get more details in. That would be a good one. Horrible with emote ideas. It's tough, dude. Like, it really is tough. Like, I mean, I had help. So it was like Aphid King, Weevil King. Those were very fitting. Build King just made sense. And then We Build Not Battle was just such a random comment that just happened to be like get picked up in the streams. I think it really just comes down to like remembering the funny things that happen during streams more than anything. You remember those and then just like find a way to turn them into a visual. I think the person that made mine like came up with the idea for the didn't come up with the idea for We Build Not Battle, but I was like, I have this concept, like I fight, I don't fight, I'm really bad at fighting, and so I build in games, and they're like, they just kind of ran with it and came up with the hammer beating up the knives all around it, and I was like, that's perfect. And then I just had them like rework. They had a bunch of different weapons and stuff, and so there was like a handful of different things going on. It was a little too complicated, so I just told them to make them all the broken knives and make the hammer a little more shiny. So that one was good. Something with Dan. That was me. The Build Not Battle. Is that what you're saying? Oops. Oh my gosh. I really need to unbind the glider from spacebar. I feel like it needs a different binding. What do you mean, what have I done? What have you done? God, I got like something tickling me, scratching. Tell if it's in my shirt or what. These might need to go higher too. Like, it even screws up my jumps to just have to think about potentially falling to my death because of the glider. I mean, I don't know what other button to put it on though. Like, nowhere else is it as convenient. Could do mouse click. I don't have that for anything. That could be interesting. Let's see. Honestly, I don't hate that. just as convenient without ever having the issue of... I actually really like that. This makes jumping so much more convenient. Alright, I'm sold. That's the one. We did it. Need to go get bandages. Oh! That definitely isn't because I keep trying to glide with the same spacebar. I gotta get used to it. I have to think about it now. It's like, what is happening? I can't glide. You know it's bad when you do something and almost instantaneously it's forgotten. Pretty sad. Literally have the memory of a squirrel. Honestly, that might be an insult to squirrels. Need more chests. Much crap in my inventory all the time. I really hope they make just everything pull from inventory. Be a dream. But I don't have to have a whole stack of things out. Because, man, I don't like it. Gonna lurk, gotta go crash? Sounds good, man. Good to talk. Get some rest. And we'll catch you on the next one. Streaming Friday. The plan is yes. It's sort of a question of when. My wife is going out with some of her friends on Friday, so I will be putting the boy to sleep. So it all just depends on how long it takes me to get him to sleep. So we might start a little later than normal. Just, that all depends. We'll see. I don't necessarily foresee anything too crazy like happening, but you never know. Honestly, you never know. Wrong one. I may see you Friday. Exactly. That's life with kids. That's exactly how I'd describe it. I might see you sometime. Maybe. I guess. Hopefully. I'll try. It's always a bit of a struggle. Okay. So much more organized. Honestly, don't think I'm going to use these anywhere in this build. Maybe on the inside, but like, they're just too big for what I'm doing. I think there's any way they're going to fit. I need to remember I have a chest of stuff up here. I keep trying to glide with the wrong button now. Struggle. Dang. Pretty big. Oh no. Now we're doomed. There goes the ship. Didn't realize these were so big. Didn't think they were that close to these. Huh. Maybe that's what we do up here, like a little shrine or something. That'd be kind of fun. To like the fallen warrior something. Who knows? There goes the neighborhood. See you later. See you sometime. It's so such a true thing. That's just like Life. As you get older, that's just how life feels. Am I gonna see you soon? Maybe. See you later. Maybe. Hopefully. It's always the goal. It's not easy though. Life were that easy. Like finding, like once you have kids, it's like finding the time to do it all. You know? It just gets near impossible. Working around your nap times, the kids' nap times, your friends' kids' nap times, your family's kids' nap times. Everyone's got nap times. What would you do if you don't see Crazy soon? Just throw a party? Only kidding. We love Crazy. This could work in terms of like the more natural thing. Maybe we don't do what I'm doing. Like outer layer, because we're gonna fill all that in. Now I'm thinking about it. Make it all even, since I'm already gonna be doing this effect, kind of. I wouldn't expect anything to be wrong with him though, so I've learned my lesson. Crazy can take care of themselves. Sure. Nope. Wrong one. See. Get out of here. Wrong again. There we go. Okay, let's get this crap out of here. Can't see. Feel my power fading? I've learned. I've grown a lot since those days. I'm not so easily bamboozled anymore. Will I ever see you? Yeah. I just assume that it's going to be a lot longer than anyone thought, though. Get on there. Forgot to grab scaffolding. I literally, like, made a mental note. Not that those are at all useful, but made a mental note to grab some scaffolding and just mess with it, but didn't happen. Why? Wrong one. Fades to nothing and Crazy wakes up. Stuck on. Okay, something like this. This is where this gets hard. So difficult to make it look really natural. Okay. A lot of little details we gotta figure out here. Not as easy as one might have thought. The other question is, this first section, how many times do we want to like tier this up? Let's look at that image. Doop, doop. I wish I had more room on screen. It'd be nice to have a... I could make my camera vertical and then put a little like reference image on the bottom of the screen, but I don't want to like put more necessarily on the screen as well. I was thinking about that earlier. It could be nice. Oh yeah, everyone always knows kind of what I'm looking at any given time. I put that back in the same spot. It was either too lower or I'm losing it. Oh, that would be why. I removed. I didn't add. There we go. Morning? It's not morning for you, is it, Crazy? Could make these up too as well then. Give it a little more. $10 p.m.? All right. That's nothing. You go a little higher. This one probably. Yeah. 10:31. It's 8:31 here. To be specific. Hello? Do, do, do. It's the worst, these time zones, man. It's just me and Joe out here on the West Coast. Guess you could still be on the West. No, never mind. Pretty much just Middle East. Midwest. I said Middle East. It has been one of those days. Brain is all over. Okay, now this is where the question comes. Do we come up if this was 12, 11? Could I fit that in here? Think so. We just step it in one then? I guess, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Which would be 4. This. 1, 2, 3, 4. This. 1, 2, 3, 4. This. 3, 4. And that. So yeah, that's the way to go. I don't know why I built that there. I just built it up here. This is definitely where not as sure. of what we're gonna do here. Kind of have to just start, since this is like my first tower build. I'm gonna need to just kind of mess with things as we go. Not totally like convinced as to like what the shape of this should be. So until I know, it's kind of like, we'll just see where it goes. Oops. That, and then 4. Think. And then it's probably good enough to stop there. Jump. One gonna be enough of a step, I guess, is also the question. Ouch. Tis the question. Oh, thought something was off there. Okay. That. Alright, there we go. This will probably get broken up quite a bit as well, like in terms of the materials. Currently, it's more of just getting like the framework figured out. Because it's got to have as much detail as that. So it's going to be a lot of like figuring out more stuff like this is to mess with things. Those also probably need to go higher now that I'm really thinking about it, because we're still going to do the kind of like, what, Irish stepping stones? Was that what it was called? Scottish stepping stones? Probably need to be way higher. You have a purpose? Fun. Not totally yet. It's more visual at this point. Most likely, like, I think the idea was going to be some type of staircase to get you up, but I don't have all the inside figured out yet. Kind of getting the shell figured with as much space as possible. Then we'll tailor the rest to it as we go. You have ideas for the tower purpose. Let them rip. If that's what you're saying. Currently, I don't know if there's any purpose other than just building to build. Sort of like the grounded. Yeah, that looks good. I don't hate missing that piece on complete accident. Do that in a couple more spots. Would look nice. Fine tune how deep, how tall that is, but. Gosh. Struggle bus. Still can't decide if that's even worth it in these details. Some of it is, but some of it's kind of a waste, it feels like. Ouch. I can't tell you how many times I'm going to end up dying just because of this new setting. It's close. Almost did it. There we go. Figure it out eventually. 2. Yeah. Perfect. Taller by too many things up. Could probably go about as tall. And then there might be some little things in between as well. If I can figure out those. Does it feel like I need a purpose, Joe? Or are you just wondering if my brain's just making up random stuff? Oh no. Place to sacrifice things that slow the growth down, or a place that absorbs sunlight for energy. That could be one of the things in like an interesting... Oh, dude. I almost got ooze in there. That would have been really bad. So like how I was making this container thing for the corruption, which could be interesting to like... You could have one of them in the alchemy space. Like maybe some of this stuff is that specifically. Who knows? But that could be one thing they were like studying to counteract it. So like there could be like 2 light pillars and like 1 corrupted pillar. They're like maybe trying to like use them. So then maybe there's like certain areas that the towers, like the top of the towers could have something like that, where like it's trying to use this, harness this power, the sun to do it. That could be interesting. Yeah, get personal. It gives you a reason to keep building. Yeah. I just have like the big story. Yes, you can get my opinion crazy. The big story is usually enough for me, just for like why I'm building. For me, it's like saying I want to build a city. That's all it takes for me. It doesn't take a whole lot for me to go. I could build. My brain just wants to build. So it's like, that part's easy. But I like having the story to force the decision-making process, though. That's where I really like it. Which I would guess you kind of probably think of in a similar way. You might just explain it different. Like for me, the story is a kingdom, essentially. It's just a city, of course, but kingdom being taken over because of its greed. So for me, it's just like, cool. A kingdom needs a castle or a cathedral of some type. Needs a town, people, farms, library stuff, smithing areas, all that kind of stuff. And that's usually enough for me to just be like, all right, that's what we got to build. We got to build a place for each of the NPCs. And the little stories come as they go, though. Like, I do start to make decisions similar to that. But as I sort of make designs like this, I find that those stories and miniature reasonings behind things sort of slowly take place. Like slowly make their way into the build, and I just start maybe justifying. I start building things, then I justify them with a story behind it. I do like the idea of having the top of these towers, or having these like light wells, I guess is what I could describe it as, like a light well, where like you could walk in. The way I was thinking of this is have a door into this spot. Who knows? Doesn't have to be anything crazy, honestly. Could look up and have a very similar light well thing coming out of it, and then that could be where some of these random like maybe start putting more windows in between them. Like this is where I start adding like windows or openings and stuff, so you could see because I'm thinking of that as like at first glance just doing like white luminescent blocks. In a similar way to the little thing I had designed before down there. Has the blue luminescent blocks, but it's that's gonna end up as like shroud, the luminescent growth almost exclusively. I don't think the blue actually shows through the growth, so it's not really even worth going too crazy with it. Kind of thinking of doing as well. I want maybe some type of an arch here, just to kind of further add detail. I don't necessarily want this tower and this to be like totally separate. I want them to sort of tie together, at least in the front. I'm kind of thinking like either these become like mini towers of this, or maybe they get like more arches. Not sure yet. But that'll allow just a bit more kind of detail between the two. Kind of, this will be decently tall, but it's going to get fairly skinny fairly quick. As I kind of figure it out, of course. I'm not totally sure how that's going to work. So having something to sort of tie in this big gap, I think will be nice. And the more we do there, I think the more functional we get on the inside. That way we start getting these, like, it's not just this one really tall, like, roof. I can sort of use this area as a way to, like, pull it back so you get a better entrance overall. We'll see. I like to have an overarching story, but I have a secondary medium stories area, and then tertiary things that are very small. Medium is like a district, and small is like a marriage. That definitely makes sense. I haven't gotten quite into it that far. That's what Luderav does, though. He's like I use more of a story of how the space is used, whereas Luderav used more of like a faction of people in a group of people, or an army of warriors, or like whatever it ended up being. Many different things depending on what it was, but a little off. Where I found myself quite often not getting into that much detail. Get a decent amount, but story-wise, I've usually kept it a little thinner. This is where I'm pushing that quite a bit, though. So, like, this build makes a lot more sense for getting into, like, that extra small amount of detail. Grounded, I think I stayed more general just for, like, show off an item. Do, like, one specific thing. That's one of the things as well, Uzin, if we do a... whatever it ends up being, like how subscribers went into the subscribers hall or hall of subscribers, whatever we end up calling it. We can find a better name for it. Like the one I built in Grounded. In this one, there's no way to name anything yet, but we could potentially... They will add signs at some point, so I guess we could do like an armor dummy in the museum, or maybe a specific artifact would be kind of cool. Which would be kind of interesting, because I want to do a museum, so then it could be like a wall of people. It could be like using the artifact stands that they have, like I had to have down in the armory, and using the actual artifacts, but then like each person gets one or something like that. Kind of depends on how it goes. Are you more of a form follows function? I think I've always been like in the middle of that. So that way you could use your channel points to get in there. Or be a subscriber. Be a fun way to do it. It'd have to be like 100,000 though, or something, like 50, I don't know. If you have 10, you're here most nights for a long part of it, so I guess we'd have to figure out the currency of how much that would cost, but it'd be cool. Yeah, form follows function. I think I like to start with that concept. It's a give and take, of course. I'm sure you would easily agree with that it's a give and take. But I think I typically start with the function of something. So like I was saying, Grounded, like I wanted to build something that was utilizing the Oasis space. So like the function of that space to me immediately said like bathhouse. And so then it's like, how do you make it function as a bathhouse? So I have a more logical perspective on that, kind of like how I start designs. It was actually like probably one of my biggest... I never had any problem with it because I designed real buildings, and architecture teachers and stuff were not real buildings. So like I had a very, very specific like thought process for how I went about things, because like I wanted to design projects that could be real and could work, even if they maybe were really expensive. Like I wanted things to make sense, and school was not that. And so I often got dinged for like being too functional for things. But I often have found now, so like in school, I was 100% form before function. Like 100% form follows function. Like that was probably exactly how my brain thought. Now, I like to start with what this thing is going to be, why does it exist? And then from there, I find a form that will allow the function to make the most sense. And then it's a give and take between like, how much do I want it to really function and how much do I want it to look the way I want it to look? Where like this specific thing is way more form than anything. Like this is purely an exercise in messing with the forms I can make in Enshrouded, like this cathedral's like castle space, because there's not really any like true need for it at any given point. So it's like, I think as I figure out and get further into a project, the form becomes more and more important, and I find ways to make the form I want work with how I want it to function. And so I kind of like swap it. I don't know. Slap the barrel and call it a night. Sounds good. Crazy. Hope you have a good night, man. Get some rest and see you the next time. I start with form and smash a function into it and then add a story. Yeah. It's definitely like, it's always a, like moving, like I'm always moving the goalposts on that sense. I would never say that I like specifically stick with one thing, because like I started with this because it made the most sense and I needed a crafting area, and then I developed the story of the city by making this flame altar kind of work, and then through the story of making, like, wanting this island that was ripped out of the ground, the story helped force that decision to make sense, like justifying like why this would be a floating island in the first place. So it's definitely like a major back and forth. It's never consistent by any means. All just kind of depends on where my brain's at. But I think that's one of the things that's like helped me become a better designer too. Being less stuck to one specific method, one specific design. Like those things have just sort of evolved as I've gone on. Hit 1 and 4. This. Yeah. I think that's what makes the best designs at the end of the day, though, is like the experimentation with changing things to make sense as you go. And I used to be very stuck with like the mindset of one specific way of doing things. Get that from concept art. It's really common to start with a silhouette and fill in the details with the function and mood in mind. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I always have function in the back of my mind, like, but it's, I mean, when we're talking about like building bases and grounded and in video games and stuff, it's more of like, I'm really going for a specific form that I have curated specifically to make sense with like what I'm trying to do. And so it's like, I'm always looking up precedent images that are of exactly what I would want it, like the whole build to be anyways. So it's always an interesting process now. But I have a lot of freedom. If it was a real building, like I think, and it's also, yeah, you have to like frame the perspective of like what I'm doing. So like if I was talking about the process of building an actual building, like when I was working in an architecture firm, that was like, I would always start, and this was like a huge part of my dad teaching architecture to me. It always started with like a specific, that looks nice. Could have done that there. I'd have to mess with that. It always starts with like a specific plan. So like when you're master planning or whatever, you're helping make a project actually work, I would always start with what we called a what if study. And so you just go check the code in the local area for whatever you're allowed to build. Oh, almost got you oozing. Like you check the code, you like figure out what the client wants, and then you maximize it out to be like the most efficient possible. So you start with this like boxes essentially. And then from there, I would essentially just take the like rough dude. Oh my gosh, oozing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I'm just can't help myself. I keep forgetting I changed a stupid button. I keep forgetting to press the right button to glide now that I've changed it. Gonna take me some getting used to. You're the third architect streamer I've met on Twitch. Let's go. Love to hear it. It's a fun thing to be part of. It feels very natural to do like stuff like this because I've done so much public presenting and stuff with it. The other two play City Skylines. I know of not an architect, but an engineer that does City Skylines and other games like it. Like Engineer Plays, or I think that's what it was, something like that. Or City Planner Plays, that's what it is. So, very common. That's a very common style of game to play for people. It makes sense. So it makes a lot of sense, at least, is what I'm saying. Those games are always just so appealing. This allows me to be a little more fun and creative, though, than building like a city. I get to build it block by block here, which I think is a little more entertaining. Question is, how tall? You just keep stepping this up? See. Put the frames up, then go over with more detail and fascia after? Yeah. It's always interesting. My process changes a lot when I'm building like this. I never quite know how I'm going to do something. It's usually easiest to start with like a rough box and then sort of, especially in Enshrouded, I find that like sculpting is the way I've been currently kind of working through things. So instead of thinking of everything as walls and whatever the blocks are, I'm just trying to like add as much depth as I possibly can. So then that becomes adding some material here, removing material there. It can be really difficult to get started in this game without like some rough structure to base things off of. Been working on a very large double round table. Interesting. 48-meter circle intersecting with an 80-meter. Holy cow. Tower. Yeah. That's huge. These towers are 12? 12 meters something? It'll be really big once we get there. But like if you look at, show you the rough size we're looking at as we get going. Joe, I am adding windmills and water wheels to my tower, but couldn't bring myself to build until there's a reason, or you had a reason for them. That's one of the struggles. I want this water update, man. I want it bad. Gonna have both internal and external domes. Oof. That's like, I'm so nervous for the inside of this build. Like, the idea that's going on in my head, just like the amount of freaking detail that's going to be on the inside of this is daunting. So daunting. There's so much to do. I mean, we've spent 4 streams. I don't even know how many streams I've spent doing just this front, like, entrance. Let's see if I look on YouTube real fast. 1, 2... Probably, oh yeah, at least 3 or 4, more than that probably now. Yeah, 4 full streams and part of 1. Just building this front entrance thing. crazy. It's got a lot of detail, but man, the inside's gonna be so crazy. Kind of like the Capitol building. Yeah. There's internal domes and then the big external dome. That'll look really cool. Man, I've seen a couple people build domes. Daunting tasks. They look incredible, but man, it is scary. In the best way. But man, it's so much work. Blows me away, some of the stuff people have built in this game. We're getting there. This long process, though. This is where I have no clue. I haven't really thought about how I want these top portions to end, so it's going to be trial and error as we go. This front entrance is like your style guide. It really is. It is like informing the whole thing. So it is very important to take my time on it, I guess, in that sense. Build will also have a true spiral staircase. Oh, man. I thought I liked torturing myself, but holy cow, dude. Watching a couple tutorials on those was painful. Like, so painful. They're so freaking cool, but the process is not easy. That's the thing about this game, though, like more than any other building game I've played, is the more time you spend, the better things look. Like, you build quick, your stuff's gonna look like it was built quick. And if you build, like, slow, methodical, just like you spend tons of time, because of the rotation of the materials and all that stuff, like, you can endlessly add detail. There's just nothing else, like freaking inverted hand railings and setting random things in, different materials, windows. You can get a different level of realism, it feels like. Figured out how to do spiral staircases first, and now with the fine rotation, it should be easier. That is true. I was looking at it before the fine rotation was a thing, so I guess I didn't really think about that part. I'd just seen a video on it, and it's like, phew, good luck. The stool technique? Is that like the red ones? I don't remember which one I was looking at. I feel like it used like a red fabric style thing. The way you could do fine rotation on an object that wouldn't otherwise let you. A little basic tool. Awesome though. There's just so many things like that you can do in this game, so it's like need more videos on everything. Oh, it's close. Also built a grand staircase entrance for my guild hall. Nice. That's not the one. Where are they at? If you're interested, we have an awesome little community of builders in the Discord. Great place to chill and chat with people. Send images of your builds and stuff too. This is what I mean by sculpting. It's just like this process of just eliminating block after block. Erase a block here, erase a block there, fill in the mess you make. sorts of weird stuff. Just so many ways you can do stuff in the game. Spend years of my life doing what I'm doing right now. But man, does it look cool. Some about it. Maybe that stays. I want these feeling like too pointy, but I don't really know how I want to go about it. It's very possible that a lot of this can change, like, as we figure out more materials and stuff as well. This is definitely the style I was looking for, but it's going to be interesting as it changes and as we add in more of the terrain that's going to be coming up this stuff, and then more of this white, the highly polished stone. There's a YouTuber who made a coliseum and he fills the seats with mannequins for each subscriber. He had to switch to gnomes because he reached the prop limit with mannequins. That's crazy. I mean, that was essentially, if you'd seen my grounded stuff, there was every subscriber to the channel got a chest in the hall of subscribers that I had built. Oh, jeez. That was close. So not quite a mannequin, but then you wouldn't know this one either, but we had a role that we still haven't figured out fully, but there was a president that was voted in by chat who could like run polls and just got a little bit of extra stuff. It was the person who communicated between chat and myself was kind of the idea behind it. So like they were the voice for chat at the end of the day. And they got a special place in my grounded world, which was like inside the main tower, like at a really tall tower, and inside that main tower they got a special spot there where they got to pick their own was it a mannequin with whatever armor set they wanted, like all three pieces. You got a bug mount, so you could choose like a little bug mount, and then 2 weapons that were up on the wall. It was like a fun little shrine for a handful of people that became the president. Question is, like, we go pure pointy here? We just have to try it. See if it looks weird. Make every subscriber into a sacrifice in the tower. But I'm thinking that was one thing I was just talking about. Man. So over here, there's going to be like a library of some sort. And then eventually we'll get signs. So we could do some type of, because there'll be a library, and then underneath it is going to be the museum that shows off all the artifacts, the crazy Cyclops thing, statues, I guess, whatever makes sense. Anything we can display on displays, and that would make sense. And then we could either find a way to organize. It also depends on like how big the signs we get are. I don't know any of that yet. So, but you could see potentially like there's a sign here with an artifact, and then like that person, that subscriber, gets their name in front of a specific artifact or whatever. because there's a decent amount. I don't know, there's 20 or 30 of them. We don't have a ton of subscribers or anything, so it'll sort of be like maybe we'll have to get to a point where maybe like VIP gets a spot on like an actual artifact, and then like standard subscribers or whatever that join. The hard part's gifted subs too, because like Knife comes in and just goes crazy. Like be 20 things that are there for a week, so maybe it's like a certain, you have to hit 2 months or something like that. Or if it's like your own sub, not necessarily a gifted sub. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it, because then it's the people spending their money sort of thing. But we could do like a wall of signs. It all depends on the signs we get, how small they are, how editable they are, that all kind of things. You could even do like books like this, like something like this would be really cool with people's names. This could even be like another specific role, like whatever is displayed is shows like what level you are. There's apprentice builder memberships, journeyman builder, and master builder on YouTube, so like those could also be part of it. There's a few roles on the Discord as well. So like, well, if you got to level 100 or whatever in the Discord, you could get a special role, since that's like the ultimate one. I think I'm only level 30 or something at this point. I'm just finally past velocity. Finally. It could be mannequins too. I don't know. Can it be a mannequin in the lava? Maybe. Maybe. It's gonna be interesting. We got. Good thing is a lot of that stuff hasn't come out yet, so I don't really know where we're gonna be. There'll be some passage this way to keep going into the mountain to get you to the museum. Same way I think that this treasure room that's going to be under here is going to have some tunnel thing over that way. But somewhere in that hillside there'll be a museum where we could show off. That's also one thing. Like I think I like looking at items in a game. In terms of like, there's artifacts with specific showcases and the Cyclops skeleton that you can show off. When I see items like that, I like creating spaces around the items to like show off the unique, interesting things in the game. Is another part of like the way I like to think about function. Gotta start spamming the Discord. Time for an AI bot. Wouldn't be the first. Dude, it takes a while though. I'm amazed. Like, I'm talking in that thing all the time, and I don't feel like I'm a very high level. It's a slow process. This is where this gets interesting. Like, how do you make this not just 4 blocks? That's too chunky. Like 3 or 4? You got just a little ways to go. It happens faster than you think, but at the same time, it's not a quick process. Yeah, by any means. Issue is this gonna connect now? If I do this. No, okay. One way to make this not as square. Yeah. I didn't even read your message, and funny enough. A large part of this is just figuring out like what things give me more detail. looks like from back up on the thing. Ugh, I keep pressing the wrong button. I didn't think middle mouse button was going to be a problem to remember. Could use a little more shaping, as expected. Do 2 layers of roof tile. The vertical roof tiles are often... Oh yeah, they are. I just did that too, funny enough. I accidentally did that in the lower spot. And then already forgot about it. It'll definitely help when this is sort of detailed in. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Is it going to be another point? An arch of some kind? I don't know. Could be kind of interesting to like arch those together. It's kind of thinking more like another one of these window sets sort of in there. So just kind of maybe recreating this design in that area. We'll see. Feels like this doesn't quite taper up enough, maybe. Let's see what it do. It's just not quite the right shape yet. The question. Definitely think sort of like what I've done up here with the detailing is going to be the way I need to go on the other side. Not the other side. How I've kind of knocked pieces out, this needs to be slimmed out and more detailed. It needs to get some stuff like continuation of this, but like on these upper levels to sort of detail it out a little bit more. Because, whew, just a little too simple right now. Kind of looks Southeast Asian tower shape currently. Interesting. That's the thing is like, I just look at so many like random images that it never ends up being like one specific style. It's just like whatever shape makes sense and works is like what I go with. Never been too particular on that concept. It looks good. It looks good. Thin this out a little bit. Definitely already feels better. I feel like we could go like this maybe. Oops. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Why am I yawning? I'm not even tired. We like lowered that one and that one. And went crazy with it. That's the rule of cool. Does it look cool? Is all that really matters in fun stuff? Yes. It's nice, like, not doing, like, real-world stuff, though, in that sense, too, though. Like, I don't have to make it the function of a real building. Form is just whatever looks the coolest, and whatever style works, works. I don't have the city judging me. Okay, how'd this work? We went 4 down. 3 down. 3, then not that one. Okay, that's working. It's coming together. Already feels a lot less chunky. More getting this spacing now is going to be the main thing, and figuring out how I want to do, like what we were talking about, the little bit of story. I like the idea of this like collecting light as a way to like try to combat the shroud or the infection taking over. But we don't have to plan for air ducts in Enshrouded, dude. Seriously, so many great projects in architecture are ruined by having to just be like really functional. They just get boring. It's a huge reason I like kind of burned out of architecture in general, was that it was never make really cool things in this world. Maybe if you live in a different part of the world, you get a different aspect of dang it, of architecture in many ways, because I feel like the rest of the world has a good relationship with like spending money on beautiful things, whereas like capitalism in architecture just means you're making the most efficient housing project for every job. Every once in a while you get like a half decent office building, but like for the vast majority of things, it's just like do it as cheap as possible, and it just ends up boring. Like you can't reinvent the wheel on a housing project 100,000 times. Like 5/1 housing being 5 levels of housing, and then 1 level of like retail space, restaurants and all that. You can only do it so many ways. You can't change it every time. It's always like a struggle. Have you ever designed a skyscraper suite? Not a suite, no. I have designed... I helped design, I can't take full credit by any means, but I got to help design a 28 story building, I think. I think it was 28. Somewhere in there. It changed a lot too, so honestly, it's a lot of different stories at one point. Depended on how much money the person wanted to spend. But I did not design the interiors. That was an interior designer at the company I worked for that would do that. So I worked with interior designers to essentially... I worked with them. So I would change the shape. They would adjust the inside. I would adjust the outside to help the units work. It's kind of a back and forth just to make everything work. But yeah, mostly exterior. I did a lot of TI work, so tenant improvement. So that was like redesigning office spaces a lot. I did a lot of that work as well, but that was all quick, boring stuff. That kind of project pays the bills, but about it. Screw interior design. Can't decorate to save my life. I'm decent. I just don't enjoy it as much, is all. I have a lot more fun designing the outside of the building. It's a lot better at it, at least. I also don't like... I mean, a big part of what interior design is the part of picking all the interior stuff. Like, I had no interest. I don't have a problem picking out materials and all that stuff for the outside, but I do not have fun, like, I had to pick out lights for projects and chandeliers and stuff. It was not my cup of tea. I've done it, but I didn't necessarily enjoy it. To each their own, though. Never played Sims 4. My wife loves Sims. It's like damn near every single expansion pack for it. She still plays it to this day. Non-stop. She goes through like big breaks every once in a while, but for the most part, she's played thousands and thousands of hours of The Sims. She still has like the CDs for the games too. For a lot of them, at least. Love the building in Portland with the big Poseidon-looking statue over the door. It's on the west side. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Best interior designer game from what I've heard. One of the other architect streamers does some Sim 4 builds. Yeah, I just didn't like... I enjoy the survival aspect is what I've found. I really like base building in games with survival. So it gives me a reason to build, I think, more than anything. Outside of just building, because I can. Not bad. Starting to get shape. We'll see how it all looks once I get up higher, but... I think in real life he does mostly single family dwellings. Yeah, I never did much of that. I did all commercial buildings. I'm here for the relaxation. What's up, XYZ? How you doing? Good to see you. As I'm like messing with this, like no way I'm gonna be able to recreate this other side. Accurately, I'm gonna mess it up so much. There's so many random things I'm just taking off of this over and over again. Truly sculpting this one. Joe, if you know the Asolo on 8th project, it's over by the Lloyd Center. It's also right off of the freeway there. That's a project I got to do a decent amount of work on. It's like technically 3 buildings. There's one existing building with like these crazy vertical things, and then a tall tan and brown, kind of cream, tan or cream, whatever you want to call it, and brown, and then 2 like 5 or 6 story, I guess they're 6-story buildings. I got to work a decent amount on those, and then my biggest project ever was what was like going to be the next 4 blocks of that project, where if you're looking at the freeway, there's the building that has the like exoskeleton dome on top of it with a big flag. That building just behind that, the 4 blocks, that was the project. It's not done. Actually don't even know if it fully moved forward. They kept changing things, and then a bunch of stuff got canceled and funding got a little crazy. But I got to design some really cool stuff for that project. That project was going to be insane. I think that's a big reason my dad retired, because that was like his baby. And when that second part of the project didn't go through, he's like, well, I got nothing to stay for. I'm out of here. Only ever been there once. You ever been inside the sphere? No, I have not. I grew up in Portland, so I never really did the touristy kind of stuff. I never really do any of that kind of stuff. Sorry, that sphere. That's what you're talking about. I've never even been to Las Vegas, as crazy as that is. There was that one cathedral that was made with 2 different style spires. Which one? That's an image I need to pull up for this build. I feel like these spires are starting to already look like Familia Sagrada. I'm not butchering that. Can't get that much detail, of course, but builds. They're pretty close, though. Still can't believe Sagrada Familia. It's insane places actually get to build stuff like that. You'd never see something that incredible in the US. Ain't nobody spending that much money on any of it. Chartres. I don't know which one that is, Joe. Or XYZ. Let's see. I'm also horrifically bad with names. I've seen so many architectural history things that like only visual work for me. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. It's kind of the idea, I guess, in many ways. It was like a crazier front in the center. I really like the interior of that, though. That looks sick. It's insane. I love like the stained glass. I hope we get some like stained glass and stuff in this game. Yeah. If I could, the dream would be to do something like that with like stained glass in the back or something. That would look really cool. Did you get to see if the blue glowstones work better than the white glowstones? No, I haven't noticed them at all. They're here, but I literally, they're so non-existent that I forgot they were there. In Lego Fortnite, I did an October build based off a real life building, the Hudson River Valley Asylum. Sounds horrifying. Rather large, but I managed to keep the basic floor plan intact. You have all the colors for the glowstones now. You could do a pretty convincing stained glass mural. I guess you could use the I don't even remember what they're called. I haven't messed with those very much. I wish we got more colors of this though. The yellow one would be all right. This is harder. I like that this has some detail to it at least. The yellow would look interesting. If we got a blue and a white one, that would be cool. Seems like the glowstone is stronger the more there is, maybe. I don't feel like it emits light, if that makes sense. Like the torches emit light, the luminescent blocks are just light. They don't actually like spread light. They look incredibly bright, but from what I've seen, if they're not actually showing, they don't emit any light. They just are light. That makes sense. I don't know how to describe that in a more technical term. Put placeable in front of the blue and white, so it was like a relief. The white is very in lighter room. The other one's less so. Yeah, there's like no. It just doesn't show anything like in this sense. I was hoping to do like backlighting, which I've seen some of it work, but I just haven't figured out a way to currently make it work enough in what I'm doing. Because I don't want it to show. I just was hoping to get more, a bit of a backlighting effect. Just to show off more details. So I didn't really want to use like a bunch of torches or something like this. The less fire, the better. Hard to say how it's going to end up, but I was hopeful that that would sort of backlight a bit better. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that part yet. They tend to show on surfaces, but not in the air. And they are all overpowered by any other light source. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have any light sources, hardly. That's a struggle. A light, like a really bright white light, would have looked really nice. Like right behind here to like really create more depth. I've seen some people use like candles and stuff, so like putting them in cups or mugs to hide them a little bit more. That might be a better route. Just because they're smaller, I just don't want to see like this flame is the big thing. Use a mix of white and yellow for lighting rooms. Torches are better for backlighting. I have a video of my armory room, which uses what I'm talking about. You could actually see what I'm referring to. I'll have to check it out. Oh no. Oh. We did it, Oozin. Bottoms up. Struggle's real. On it. You have fire on the wall, then the glowstone won't show. Because the question is, what is that? What's considered fire on the wall? Like, is this one here making it, or is like that one that didn't show before that one? I know that, but I know now that I have that, it's not going to do anything. Oozin's on Twitch currently, yeah. He's not part of the YouTube gang. He was on it earlier. He was popping back and forth, but yeah, I haven't found any way to have it show that way, like as pure backlighting yet. So I don't know. I think lighting is going to be a big... Dude. My gosh. There he is. This one streamer that keeps a death counter, just saying. It feels like I need it, dude. The sad part is it's it's not even a death counter. I've died more in this game just falling than I have, like, by far. 10 to 20 times as much just falling to my death. The only thing that's really killed me in this game, like multiple times, was the dragon. Everything else was a cakewalk. Pasted links to the Enshrouded lighting video and Lego Fortnite holo build. Where are the links? What? Donde? You can always toss them in my Enshrouded chat in Discord as well. Other? Oh, there. Feel free to go do those ones in Enshrouded. I think my mod made the video and clips one. I don't even know what it's for. It was more so for people to post, I think, clips from my stream. But no, literally no one uses that one. It's not a problem that they're there or anything, but no problem posting them in the chat specific to the game. Wait. What was I gonna do? This? such small details, but just the Enshrouded chat is fine. Posted a picture in the Discord that shows how far the glowstone will show on the surfaces. Yeah, I saw that. Issues you have to see them then. That's what the struggle is. Like, I don't want to see the glowing block. There's, I think, good spots and bad spots for the glowing blocks, but they're too like unnatural. Like the rest of the blocks feel very natural to me. Sounds good, Jam. The majority of blocks I'm using like the natural look. I've found it's really difficult to tie the luminescent blocks into a build without it just looking like crazy. They're such an interesting, like, maybe if they had texture to them, like similar to like how the yellow and green kind of glass blocks look, where there's some patterning on them. With them just being pure light, I feel like they're really hard to, like, I always look at this and I've never been, I want the blue, but I don't love it. You can texturize them. Yeah, I'll have to watch your video after stream. Mostly saying Joe in the Enshrouded chat. So if you don't know, we're also streaming on YouTube. So half the conversations I'm having are with another person that's on. Joe the Wizard, who posted just before you, is on YouTube talking about the same thing. They're just hard to tie in. I don't know. I'm interested to see what you've done to texturize them. I'll see how it goes. But I will watch it after stream. If you have a good technique, that might be the one. That's been my struggle so far, is it's like throwing in a white block in the middle of this is crazy. And it just looks nuts. The armory is where I've used them, but I put windows over them. That's one way to do it. I guess I can't say I haven't used them at all. I'll show this. That'd be a bit of a lie. Totally hide them when keeping them. Those are just there for measuring and seeing. You can also cover the glow blocks with vines. Oh, vines would be interesting. This is the only way I've used them. It's like light sources, and those are just windows, which does look really good. I just don't want white. I don't know. I almost wish we could like adjust the luminescent amount or something like that. Because like inside, in terms of like creating artificial lighting, like I really like this, but like translating this to the outside of a building is like more difficult. Because I can get away with the crazy lighting on the inside of a building. The outside becomes a little more interesting. Could look really cool though. I don't know. I hadn't really thought of doing like green or anything. So else, I don't know. That's a struggle. Yellow maybe? Could be a situation where I use these windows a little bit. Especially since we can really screw with them now. The armor video is crazy cool. That's from Joe Jam. If he says it's cool, I'm excited to watch it after stream. Joe has built some insane stuff. Real good stuff. Question is like, where would this lighting even go? This is the hardest part. This is where Grounded I felt like was quite easy in many ways. With lighting. maybe not easy, but at the same time, like, it just worked. The torches weren't as they didn't look as much like just a torch. So my brain is like, I like a little bit of the torches, but do the luminescent blocks show behind these windows? I know they show a little bit. Let's see. But I know the shadows show through, so I'm kind of curious if this shows through. That could be a way to do it, and then we can hide it on the inside with just like a second set of windows or something. I don't think so. I also tried the behind ice. I know it did work on ice at one point, and then it got removed. It's so weird because they visually show shadows. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. Like if in the morning after we sleep, this will literally they look different at certain points as the shadows are going through them. So I'm like, they're transparent, but they're not. It seems weird. Would be really nice to be able to get lighting out of these windows. I think that would be the piece de resistance. I also had mentioned I was gonna put windows in these towers. Looking a little too beer bottle-y. I'm gonna have to refine that shape more. For sure. Probably won't be able to tell in the daytime. Yeah. If it's only at night, that's kind of a bummer. Also, welcome in, Rico. Hope you're doing good. Gosh, it would look so cool. That would be the ultimate way to do lighting with those, because you can't see the blocks behind it, and then you can just place a faux light or a faux window. Just place this on top of these and sort of recreate it, and then light comes through them as well. That'd be really nice. Missed opportunity. The glowstone only has light on itself when in direct daylight. That's so weird. Have you done any custom windows yet? What I mean is custom window frame parts. Oh, Rico is just on you. Is you. Ah. Oh. Wait a second. All right, guys. That looks sick. That is next thumbnail. Well, I have to do that. That is gonna look awesome. Dude, why doesn't it do that during the day? Oh, it looks so good. I have to do it because now at night this just looks way better. It's like the perfect lighting for this. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love when stupid things work. I'm doing that. Feel free. That is what this community is about. Coming up, just doing random things. This is what I love about building, and what I've been waiting for this whole time is in Grounded I had just built so much that I was always breaking the build system. But in this game, I'm still learning so much about it and figuring out how things function together. I haven't really been able to find the really cool interactions like this. This feels great. It's gonna be great. Now you have to test all the colors. I guess that's easy enough. Seems like white's gonna be the best. Blue might be enough light. That's the hard part, is it? No, it's daytime. Well, Oh, the blue is was eerie. Look at that. Interesting. It's like it kind of does show through with the colors. I guess the question is, how much light does... I haven't even really messed with these. Do these give off hardly any light? It's about as much as the green. Interesting. Interesting. Now we gotta wait for night. Bummer. Very good, though. That's exactly what I was hoping. And the great part is that there's going to be another window. Right. Ideally, I recreate this sort of window here, I think. Might be 2, well... I don't know if it'll get 3. Be interesting. We'll have to see how this space works. You gotta start feeling out the shape. Would be smart. Yellow is weak sauce. I think it's because the colors are yellow base. Makes sense. Bummer, but... I think the white glow is exactly what I wanted, though, so... At least at night it'll look cool. I don't feel like the green and blue are going to show through very well, though. I don't feel like there's a ton of light that came through this window in the first place. So, and the white one is like obnoxiously bright at times. Need to push that forward one. Dang it. That worked. Okay. Oh no. Got a lot of work to do to finish that. Could be. Oh no. Again? I now think those windows are a good way to hide the glowstone. We've done it. I'm finally doing a bit of my job. Helping you guys come up with cool ideas. So far, it just feels like I'm getting cool ideas from everyone else. You guys are stealing my whole thing. Everyone's not supposed to be as good of a builder as me, man. I have a reputation to uphold. Wonder what floor of that would look like. God, the ideas are starting to flow too fast. You're saying, like, in a dark room. This is the thing, like, my brain can't even think fast enough to think of this stuff at times now. There's just so many options. Like, there's just so many little avenues you have to explore to come up with this stuff. So what we do... God, they're so bright down here, though. Insane how bright they are down here. Disco floor. Could also like set this in. Of course I run out. What am I doing here? There we go. What? it's tilted. Oops. Rude. Ah, that was all of them. I was hoping I had another stack somewhere. Interesting. Oh no. Sorry, Uzen. I went to say something and spaced. I brought you back by dying again, dude. It's like 5 times tonight. Ah. Struggle. Struggle's real. The only struggle with that is that with the floor is just that those windows, those specific windows have that weird like bump out for like no reason. I can't understand that one. I've been trying to understand it and I can't. I don't know why I didn't have these windows out too. Go. Getting used to your new depth perception. Yeah, it's a struggle. Surprisingly, I thought I was going to sit here with these glasses and feel horrific because all day I felt horrific. Something about staring at the screen, it's the moving part for me. Like what I'm getting used to is there's a focal point in glasses. And so as long as you're using the focal point, which requires, while you're getting used to them, looking with your head. But my eyes just want to dart around. So I look down at something and then you see just like that weird difference in the, like in your peripheral where there's glasses on one part and there's not on the other. And so you get like that weird magnification right at the edge of the glasses when I'm looking around constantly. And it just it makes me so motion sick. Painfully motion sick. So luckily sitting here is working pretty well. Every time I get new glasses, I feel like I have supervision. Everything feels magnified. This is my first pair of glasses ever. So I'm like, it's a whole new world. I knew I was like, my distance vision was getting bad, but I didn't know it was this bad. Because it's like you could still see. It's just not like, you just can't see amazingly. The round windows don't have the bumps. Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm going to just grab a couple of these because I was being too stubborn only using the other ones because that's just what I had. Go get more of everything now. I'm going to have to use a lot of these window types. It can't just be on this front thing. I'm going to have to figure out other spaces. I think this tower would look better with some... if I make the design work with the windows a bit better as well. Windows? 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 There they are. Sure. That's probably enough. Maybe? Yeah, that'll work. Feels very nice to have better vision, though. I just sit out on my porch looking across the street like, wow, I could see all of the trees. See every leaf on that one. There was just, it all looked like one big blob previously. Can't complain too much. But just like I've been wearing my sunglasses for like 4 or 5 days now because I got them first. And I'm already really used to those. It's like, feels incredible wearing those glasses now. It's getting, I think, getting used to the fact that these don't have the lower frame, which is nice because it's like, doesn't look like it, to me, it doesn't look like I'm wearing glasses as much. So for like day-to-day wearing, I like that part, but it's weird not seeing that like edge. It allows my eye to, as I was saying earlier, like wander into the edge. You've been debating LASIK? I mean, it sounds horrifying to me. I don't know. Anything with eyes for me is like touchy. My parents have both had it though, like, so it's not like, and my brother-in-law, they all love it, so. I don't think any one of them complains about it. As long as you can afford it, it seems like a great decision. Just sounds like, ugh. I hate the idea of it. I'm a little wimp like that, so. And my eyes hurt just opening them in a pool. Or the shower is probably a better one. That's where I'm at too. Eyes are so gross. Like the idea of having your eyes held open, like I'm gonna be like looking around and stuff. Like, how do they not mess that up? I'm gonna flinch. You're gonna have to strap me down or something. Like someone breathing too close to my eye makes it sensitive. It's always been so bad for me. It's a painful life. Yeah, I can't even, like, if I get water in the shower, not even soapy water, just water in my eyes in the shower, I like have to get a towel, like wipe them out. It's pretty bad. Barely open them. I don't know why. It's always just been like really sensitive for some reason. Talking about eyes makes me twitch and eyes water. Yeah, so you're right in my boat. You don't know exactly how I feel. There's something about them. I don't know. Something about them. That detail is bugging me. I need to figure out how to make this top of this tower. Right now, that ain't doing it, and this ain't doing it. One more, maybe? I am just a very squeamish person, though, for some reason, too. My brother used to wear goggles in the shower because of getting water in his eyes. That's incredible. I could never show it on stream, but my wife, I still love giving her crap for it. She was cutting onions, and so she like took sunglasses and headbands and like put them around her eyes because her eyes were watering so bad. I ended up getting a picture of her. It's still like my funniest picture I've ever had. Oh, it freaking kills me. It's like all the ways that she could have done it. That one killed me. The funniest looking picture ever. Goggles in the shower is pretty funny though. I did grow up like always wearing goggles in the pool, so I can understand. Oops, what the? I can understand the pain. Like, I always wore goggles as a kid in the pool. It's a struggle. I don't know why. Oh no! Struggle is real. I feel like I'm gonna have to do this death counter thing. Or if I can find an easy way to do it. The way I can just like press a button instead of doing like typing in a number every time. Sure, I could probably Google something and then just use it to screen capture in that spot. Easy enough. Not sure what I want to do for this. Can't tell if it wants to like just be an arched sort of thing. It wants to be its own little sort of tower. Feels weird. Well, it just does feel like it needs to be like an arch. Slightly lower though than somewhere in there maybe. That level is. Okay, this top area is the right height. Could, oh, that's terrain. Do something like that, maybe. Get over there. Let's see. A little weird. If it's lower, could tie into this better. Probably the way to do it, like tie it in here. Keep falling to my death. Got me panicking now. Little closer. Struggle with that is then you start losing more detail. This tower becomes less and less of a tower every time I do that. Almost feels like does need to be back one block. Like a who's a what's a style? I'm gonna have to look that one up. Who's Sophia? Is that a person or this cathedral? What this is, the inside looks dope though. Yeah, I think it needs a different texture too. That's a good point. I think originally I was. I mean, it's going to. Just figuring out. Maybe I do. Yeah, I think it needs to be one. No, one back. Is that what I was saying? Not two back, one back. Let's see. We could just do granite and see how this at least makes it look a little different. of something like this. Use a more efficient block. Could do a little bit of stepping that way. Bummer. Monkey built this thing. Could be something totally different too, I guess. It's essentially just going to be recreating this. So it's going to have a lot of tiers, so you don't really see the material anyways. Not super weird. It's a mosque now? Yeah. I think that's what I'm... So many cool things out there, man. Need to go travel the world. Guess this depth will be nice. Let's do... maybe not that. It's going to give a lot of foreground. I think it'll be nice. We want this front piece to really pop, so having this back 2 or 3 blocks I think will look nice. And we have to start messing with like one of these roof tiles. That's going to be interesting. That's what I noticed when I started doing this section. I was like, that really just needs roof tiling, honestly. A little weird. It'll make it a lot better shape, I think. Just which roof tile do we want to do? Continue with the granite. Oops. It's close. Yeah, I forgot. I'm going to have to build this piece by piece. Crap. Any of these angles be close? This is where I need a roof block that is just a long, flat... This piece, this is a roof block, needs to be a thing. At least you could do, like, long sections of it, of an individual. I think that would be one of the most helpful blocks that I'm guessing is probably driving a lot of people absolutely insane. As soon as you want to make an interesting roof, it's like, good luck. Guess this means these actually would need to start like here, wouldn't they? Oh, deleted something. Yikes. That's the other question. Do I want this block or this granite? That is a question that we will have to answer at some point here. Not sure how I feel about the moss. But I don't love the way this one works at the same time. Oops. I was like, why isn't that connecting? What? I need to watch Chisel Chip's video on how to do this properly. Just trying to get an idea of at the moment. Help me, chisel. The heck going on here? It's gonna be so freaking tedious. I had to do all this work off stream or something. Oh, we didn't even do this in the right. Oh wait, I did. It's not finished yet. Oh man, this hurts my brain already. What was it? I don't even have any clue if this is gonna make sense, so yay. Guess by getting rolling on this, at least, I know what I need to look at. Watch some videos or something. Now that I'm finally doing this stuff, though, I can start figuring out, like, good tips for some of these things. Second. Be like that computer. One second. Any gargoyles, if they add them? I don't know how to build one. The hard part is like sculpting, because it's not... I don't even know if this is quite built the way it would need to be. Sorry. I feel like I don't have enough scale currently with what I'm doing. So the question is, can I sculpt something the right size with enough detail to make it not just look like a weird blob? Just could very easily happen. It's just one of these getting this detail. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's one of those things. Oh, what a save. What a save, Oozin. You're welcome. That one was the closest yet. Feels good to finally save a fall there. Dude, that rolling is what gets me so bad. It's so easy to just roll over a double block and die. I don't want you to get bored, you know? Or miss a little sesh if you need it. Gotta keep you topped up. Alright, get rid of some of these so I can go see what the heck I'm doing. So much crap. This is where a building cam of some kind would really come in handy. say it is very tedious doing some of this stuff. It's like because of this ability, like it also doesn't feel like it needs a building cam, but man, would it make life easier. Exponentially easier. I barely want to clean my house. I don't want to go clean up these things all the time. I guess I haven't really checked if there's any gargoyle type statues that are in the world. But because if it's in the world, it sounds like they're probably going to add everything as a buildable item eventually, but it just takes a long time to get them converted over to something the player can use versus just having a model of it. That is another great feature of the Builder's Companion is the build cam. Yeah, I have the Builder's Companion. I just don't like using it very often. Like, I won't use any of the mod features of it, but I have used it for fly around camera stuff if I need it. I just don't like dealing with it for the most part. The only reason I have it is for filming, so I can get footage without having to like fly around and that kind of stuff. Outside of that, I don't plan on really using much of it. I have learned from my previous experiences making content and stuff, people prefer survival. I do too, anyway. Like pure creative building, although I'm using resource worlds, I'm still playing the rest of the game. And I don't like dealing with all the mod stuff while I'm streaming it anyways. Blackmire stone statues are as close as you can get, yeah. I just want something with those that isn't so mossy and stuff. It just doesn't fit the style of what I'm building at the moment. They look really cool for certain builds, but there's a ways to go before they look good. They need a different style, essentially, more like these Pike's Mead statues, or even this statue. At least it's a little too dingy as well for what I want to do, but it's the right color palette at least. I have a base with every placeable thing in the game plays. Nice. That's how I played Grounded. I had one of every single item. So when knowing about if something exists or not, yeah. I mean, we get what we get, so I'm not too worried about any of it. I just know if it's in the game, the idea is that they want to add it at least. Looking pretty sick though. I'm really liking this. Definitely changes some of the plans I had, the way this is designed. This tower doesn't necessarily feel like it's in its final form by any means, and we gotta really tune this, whatever the heck this is gonna be. It's gonna be way more fitted. Fitted? It's gotta fit in way better. Not in the game yet, perhaps, before it goes gold. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff to come, so that's a nice thing. I think that's what I'm so amazed about thus far, is that this game is a year out from being finished. Over a year, sorry. Too low, dang it. Like, if it's this good so far, then, I mean, give them a year to keep developing things, like, what are we going to end up with, man? We're a year out. We were, like, what, a year and 6 months, and they decided to throw randomly, without even mentioning it, just free prop rotation. Like, I know people had been asking for things and suggesting it in the suggestions forum, but, like, for them this early on to be like, we're going to throw in an insane function, like free prop rotation. No so few building games have that like ultimate level. It doesn't mean it's like perfectly built yet. There could be some extra things added and adjusted to it, but that's how I knew this game was going to be nuts. They just add insane features in this early into the game. Seems like they're striving for excellence though so far, so that's what I'm really enjoying. So far, it's pretty much just Grounded that I felt like has done all of that and more. There's a lot of great games, don't get me wrong, but that I've really enjoyed playing in the last few years. And even Grounded fell a little short in some senses of the word. Just with the idea that, like, I wanted them to keep going forever. I know they couldn't, but handful of things could have just perfected that game before everyone got pushed out of their projects because of Microsoft. Keep jumping off oozing and then totally, like halfway through falling, I remember that it's middle mouse button, not spacebar. It's looking sick. Love the shape. Yeah, it's coming together. Once this is figured out, I'm kind of now thinking that that might be more like a flying buttress type of thing. And do like a little line of them. The issue is that I don't know how that ties into this mega tower thing in the middle. I need this to feel... I can't decide if I like... It almost feels too bulbous here. And then it like tapers up. I'm gonna have to, I think, figure out how to do that. Not totally sure. It's like I like it, I just don't love it yet. There's a lot of detail. I want to add windows, so I might need to get rid of maybe some of these as well to add in like some of that. As I had said, the idea of like harvesting sun, like Joe had suggested, would be an interesting concept there. It's another interesting kind of story element. So my brain is contemplating that, but currently with the shaping of those towers, the central tower, or the central kind of entrance peak space, all of this, absolutely floored with how this is working. That is like better than I could have imagined. All of this, perfect. I can add more detail here and there, but like overall, it's like heading in the exact direction I wanted. Once this is tied in and this is figured out, I think it'll be fine. Could add flying buttresses, but where there is normally empty space, put in windows. I think I'm reading what you're saying. Like... horrible angles to look at for this. Could add a little tower in too. Alright, that's the best example for just a diagram. So like you're saying, if I did a flying buttress between my tower and the main thing, do a window here. Just filling in the two pieces, or wherever there's a gap between the lower, I guess in this situation, it would be between the flying buttress went out somewhere here, and then there'd be a secondary roof at an angle here, I guess. So then there'd be a space there, which would be kind of interesting. Hard part is figuring out like where, I guess the flying buttress part, the only part that sucks about that is those are typically done in like a long rectangular building, and mine is only like long and rectangular for a really short period of time. So my brain's like, the flying buttress idea is interesting, but I don't know how I execute it. Because it's gonna feel like I'd have to build like a couple weird towers here. I haven't thought that far ahead. how these things are going to connect, because there's going to be more. I might have to just kind of ixnay that center part for the time being, because in theory, if we're looking at the idea here, we're building little towers here, and then there's almost going to be like behind that another tower type. Yeah, mine's super tall. I don't know. Not sure yet. There's something there. I don't know. I think it depends on how I tie in the portion here. Because, like, this is placeholder. So, like, this will probably move in a little bit because there's going to be some different type of tower. Its own sort of thing. Not exactly a copy of this, but like there'll be more of an organic looking stacked. It won't be less of a tower, more of there's going to be a big central rectangle, and then it's going to taper up as it goes. And so there'll be sort of a larger, if you took maybe more what I had done originally, where I just had like an angle. It wasn't a circle where like that's a tower. The piece behind it is just going to kind of be more like this sort of stepping stone sort of feature. So like each level might get higher or shorter depending on whatever it is, but to get the right tapering effect. But I think it'll be more standard like that, to try to make it like tie into this more rectangular piece. I don't want to be doing. It's gonna be interesting. I gotta figure out how this all ties, because yeah, this is definitely gonna have to move in a little bit to accommodate the kind of piece, which I already knew. This wasn't gonna be a tower. It's hard to look at it from this angle. These were definitely not built with a taper in mind. So of course the tower starts here, but it's immediately going to start like stepping back and then kind of more straighten out as it gets up a little bit. So most of what is seen here is going to be pushing back really quick and tapering up very fast. Probably only tapers somewhere in the range of, if I remember my plans, will be that tower is going to be, it'll kind of just barely be past this right hand side of this, and then taper up and probably be right in here. It's like the overall tower thing, tower width. We'll probably look at it. Yeah. So the white will actually be more somewhere in here. We'll see. What do you think about a witch hat curve? Let's see. Like, are you thinking like this? Like you're saying like the main tower? Like his, that's like, where are you saying exactly? I guess like here, or the tower, like the big tower, or the front here, or this. What specific part? Giving a visual of his deep roof thing. Which build specifically are you thinking of? I'm trying to picture. I know he's working on a new one. Are you thinking his the tavern he's building. Trying to like look at what all the things he's built. The mountain. I guess his mountain tavern actually looks like that too. I realized that was as much looking at that angle. So the tavern. And so you're thinking, how would I do that? So I guess, are you thinking like more of a straight tower potentially, and then it curves in? Just trying to picture, or like a more standard witch tower with the idea being like a cylinder instead of this stepping in constantly. It's almost more of a cylinder that then gets the witch hat effect. These do feel like a champagne bottle is my issue right now. I don't like hate them, but there's just some proportion of it that feels off. Especially compared to like how awesome this portion looks. Not, this roof is not at all. I think this is going to step in one for sure. I think it's going to line up with oh no. Ouch. Rude. Uh-oh. Leg. Okay. That was leg. That wasn't my fault, Uzin. I just lagged out and then was dead. I swear. I didn't do it on purpose. Was that as laggy for you guys as it was for me? Because I literally couldn't do anything. All right, not the cylinder, just curve in. Can't picture this. Just curve in. So like the whole thing curve in to like a more of a point. I'll send some Discord tonight for you to check out. Yeah. Dude, that's don't blame yourself for anything. The hardest thing to do in life is describe. I think that's why more people aren't great designers, is because the communication part of design is the hardest thing. Without visuals to like look at, just trying to describe physically how something works is an extremely difficult thing to not overcomplicate, while also getting enough detail for it to actually make any sense. It's so hard to do. That's why women are all mad at us mansplaining, and I'm like, no, it's like, it's a tough thing to explain, all right? There's just a tough balance. I want to make sure I'm doing it justice. The hardest thing for my wife to understand. I talk too much because I have ADHD, and then on top of that, I am like, I've just learned to talk very descriptive to get points across for literally an education and a job for so long that it's hard to not over describe things, because I know how hard it is for people to understand that stuff. Don't ask why my brain just decided to mess with this, but it's happening. Hello? Snaps, go away. Why is it snapped there? Couldn't get that to save my life. Come on now. I have no clue if this is inevitably what's going to happen here, but... Oops. Just tired of seeing just highly polished stone. Glad my wife can understand me, mostly. Yeah. My wife can. She just gets... Her attention span isn't long enough to listen to my long-winded rants a lot of the time. Less of a her problem, more of a me thing. But... I guess as I was saying too, how do I, what the heck? That one. There we go. I added a picture to Discord of my old build that has the tower of my thought. Let's... Feels like it kind of needs to be some combination of that. Your old build? What? Oh, you got so many builds. You're so behind. How are you so far along on all these? Yeah, I'm struggling with like the balance between, because I still want to have this like stepping stone effect, but I think it's probably going to wrap around and become part of this whole thing too, since this one's going to be more square. But I'm also not loving the overall shape of this quite yet. And there's details that I think really work, and there's other ones that really are like, they're not quite there. Velocity, dude, what are you doing here? It's real late. Or early. Also, why are you in YouTube? It's even crazier. You missed crazy earlier as well. It's like certain angles look really good, I think is the struggle. I guess the question is, do I could potentially, because like what I did is I started like longer and then tiered faster. I could tier equally to get that same sort of effect. You just woke up? Holy cow. Feels crazy. It's from my old computer died and I lost my stuff. It was on the hill just southwest of your build. Oh. Oh, this thing? Yeah. No. This one? Must be that one. That south? West? Must be there. There's a lot of hills. Somewhere in that direction. There's so many good spots to build in this game too. That's the struggle. I'm very happy with where I picked to build, but at the same time, like, I don't think there's any spot that doesn't look good. First one you pointed at, I think that is southeast. Oh, okay, yeah. This one. So that back behind there. My brain knew that's what you meant. That's originally what the words. Jeez. Originally I was thinking about building here, and then I was like, well, look at how interesting this crazy, like, this super weird mountain in the middle of nowhere, like, is so unique. I couldn't help myself. I didn't love how I just saw that luminescent block before everything else rendered in. That's going to be interesting. Getting there, though. It's like the shape's close. It really is. I don't know. I don't want too triangular. But if I get too narrow at the top, like, that was the one thing I noticed about your tower, Joe, is like, I don't know if I want it to get super narrow too fast. Because then I know it's gonna, the hard part is if it gets too skinny. One, I don't know if it's big enough. If I could do it at maybe larger scale, if I had a little more space, that might do it. But if I don't want it to overpower this, is the other thing I'm struggling with. And then especially once this thing comes in and becomes like whatever this ends up being, its own flavor of insanity. Like that thing, who knows what angle this is going to be at. Once those start meeting, then it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Got to be a good combination between all of those. I had a center block on that tower too, which made it even more skinny. I think that might be part of the problem of how the circle I picked doesn't have a center block, so that could be a struggle. The only way I can change that is just by starting over. That's also something, I think the way I'm going to probably approach this at the end of the day is leave this. Maybe I'll keep sculpting it to be a certain shape and just see how it keeps going. And then this other tower I'll build completely different. This typically, although it's a lot of work to like redo. What is happening? Although it's a lot of work to build two totally different towers and then have to come back, at least I can look at them side by side and sort of figure out which one I like better. So what I'll probably do is try to get this side off stream like tomorrow night or something, just roughed in, make sure I've got like everything lined up and centered and I'm not missing any blocks or anything. So at least I start building roughly the same idea. And then from there we'll test the left half of this cathedral as some totally different tower design, or at least semi-different. And then like this side, I can do the more solid idea I originally had. That's more just windows and figuring out how this shape makes sense. Because it's got to have some form of a roof too, so I don't really know what I want to do there anyways. But we can try this one like that, and then on this side I can try the flying buttresses and sort of test out how maybe that window system would work. Maybe even doing a center block on this side might even just be enough. Because a lot of the precedent images I'm looking at have a very like pointy tower. from what I've really noticed. Like, this is a big inspiration. This is exponentially more detailed than what I'm doing. But this is a big part of how I'm thinking through this thing. And I really like some of these tinier little spires, but they're really hard to do. You don't really have the ability, so it's like you don't quite have enough small enough blocks to do these little points. And like, just has such a subtle, very subtle taper to it. So maybe that's another thing on the other one. I could do more of like a bunch of blocks, stop, a bunch of blocks, stop, bunch of blocks, stop, and then taper the top up more quickly. So maybe it's just like a very minimal, like just straight up, step in, straight up, step in, straight up, step in, and then like a really quick point of some kind. So it has less of this bottle look to it and more of like a typical tower. See, you could do an orthographic vertical sketch to figure the shapes and see which ones you like. Yeah, that would be a decent idea. Wouldn't hurt. Nice thing is I can just oof, almost fell. If I do it right, of course I missed. 1 second. I should have just died there just for oozing. How I made that work without even landing and couldn't do the other one. Is. Nice thing is I could do a quick trace of this. I have a bunch of trace paper, so I could just throw it up over my screen really fast, get a really like broad shape traced out, and then from there do some really quick trace sketches. That'd be the easiest way. That's how I usually like to work. Just like do quick traces to get really quick massing done. Makes life a lot easier. Probably the way I'll do it tomorrow a little bit. I want to find a way to do interesting sketches. One, I need to practice being better at sketching. I'm horrifically bad at sketching. I never was like that good at it. I'm just a very hard-lined artist. So I did very good architectural drawings and I did very good blueprints and stuff, but all drafting was very comfortable and just all those different things, elevations, was really good at all that stuff. And I could visualize and create really good digital art as well. But the just like rough sketching, that's where I've always struggled. I've never been loose enough in my approach to it, which would be an interesting thing, I think, as I figure out this channel more and more. Is it'd be really cool with some of these video ideas that I have that I want to do for more like broad top, like I want to not do just base tours and whatever. I want to do some more broad in terms of like the top 10 tips to build better and grounded, but like how to start a mega base, how to like do some broad stuff that might cover any or every building game out there. Where it'd be really interesting for some of those more generalized videos that I'm hoping reach a bigger audience to do some form of sketching and building and do like go through all the different things that I've done. Be kind of interesting to throw in, even if it's just a little bit of me doing some quick drawing stuff that's like really easy for people that don't do that stuff. I think would be the best way to do it. So not like some elaborate sketch that's just like, dude, this guy's so good, because I'm not a great sketcher, but it's teaching people a really quick way to go about that would be very interesting. just to help with thinking through the different ways of how to start bases, how to get past those like struggle points. Sometimes it's looking up another image, sometimes it's sketching something, like could be all sorts of different ways about going about it, whatever medium you like, watercolor, pen, marker, pencil, whatever it is, wouldn't really matter, but have a little bit of that kind of like B-roll footage is something I've been looking at. Just spice up videos a little bit more. I don't even know what I'm doing with that. My hand doesn't like doing what my mind tells it to, so I can't sketch. I'm very similar. Funny thing is like my mind pictures, that's like my saving grace, is I'm like an extremely visual person. And so for me, the only times I need to sketch is when I was like forced to in school. It's not that I didn't do it or didn't want to do it, I just was never super confident with it. But in this world, I don't have to like show my work. I can just like think through these things the way my mind wants to. So it's always worked well for me, but I would like to show off some of those kind of concepts a little bit more. I just watched a man donate 300 Twitch subs to a DayZ streamer. Dude, what? Tell him to come help a brother out. I can't sketch, but I can carve things or model clay really well. Yeah, I was really good at physical models. Make yourself use a pen for sketching. It teaches you to have a lighter touch, and you can't erase everything, which is my problem. I definitely think if you do that for your channel, it will stand out even more than it does. Yeah. And I've seen like a lot of the like a lot of really popular content creators have done like sketching challenges and stuff. Like I sketched for a year or whatever, and that's an interesting concept. Not necessarily that I have like this huge amount of time right now in life to spend a year sketching and doing videos and building and content, like all the different stuff. I can't add too many things to my plate, but it is definitely something like that I'd like to find a way to add in just a little bit. Just make my videos stand out a lot more. Alright, so it's definitely the white. The only one that even shows anything is blue. The green, like, super close. The windows are too green. Alright, it's white. Just amazed that the other ones don't, like, illuminate as much. If we hurry, we can see what that looks like. Better on the big windows. Interesting. I guess those are slightly... Alright, so that's part of it. That is going to look better. Just a little, maybe. Also would then want... Ooh, made this thing. I really not have anything to here to destroy? Literally already built this one perfectly to do this. Just have to undo it first. Darn it. There goes the night. The torches are dimming the glow. Well, now that I have the glow, I think I can remove some of the torches, though, at least. So that's nice. Yeah. I really only added these torches specifically because I was like, it just feels like I need light. Get over there. Don't need those. Well, at least it'll look epic at night. Definitely looks freaking cool, so. And then if you think about, like, oof, can't see anything. That is the weirdest sensation when you're in like first person mode and you just start falling. And then you get like more lighting from this area. This will look good. Really hope they add a full day-night cycle control. Yeah. It's just like photo mode. The way Grounded does photo mode is just you get into photo mode and then you get to change the day or night to whatever you want. You can change this. You could change the sun angle to whatever you wanted, and then you could change it to any time of day. You look better with the lights off. Love that song. You look better with the lights off. We can dream, I guess. One day we might get it. I don't know how to tie that in as well. Yeah, with a little bit more up there. Really hope I get a shader that doesn't do this. Gamma settings. That's all I want. Now I'm wishing that these were bigger. We might have to make these a little larger. I could see myself doing... Watching 4 weeks they'll release a photo mode. What a surprise that would be. I sure hope so. That'd be freaking awesome. Contemplating just adding more light, more windows to this. Just do double and make that bigger. I think that'd make a lot of sense. No. Realistically though, like I think the next update has to be, it's getting close. I feel like they've been on like a 3 to 4 month schedule with everything. I didn't even think about the fact that those ones are thinner. Interesting. Might just leave everything the same and see what happens. We'll have to figure that part out. That passes. Would you replace your windows if they added other colors? Yeah, I have no problem changing things as they add stuff. I'd like the green right now, like... I'm definitely not disappointed with that color. I think it looks really nice with the the granite color. So it would have to be a really good color. What if we did something more fun? I think the next update is coming with the end of that custom quest thing. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That would make quite a lot of sense. Which, 4 weeks? Sounds interesting. Oh, there was roofs on there. Oh, missed one. I want blood vampire windows. Interesting. I'll take anything at this point. I have yet to be disappointed, so my faith lies in Keen. I want many things, but so far I've gotten more than I could have ever even thought of. Alright, that may not be the pattern. It's not bad, actually. It's pretty similar to... Feels very consistent at the same time with what I've been doing. I mean, more and more everything, windows, all that stuff, doesn't suck. Maybe we do... lower it one on the outside. That way it matches the middle window a bit better. Like that. See, that gets rid of the issue here too, which is nice. One less window, I like it. Efficiency at its finest. Oop, almost picked up the wrong one. Game has blown my expectations out of the water. Yes. Every time. I'm quite surprised. I wasn't expecting the game to turn out as well as it has. I had heard Portal Knights was really good. I just was like... When I first played it, I think it was so overwhelming of a build system with so little knowledge and so little like reference images out there for like other people's insane builds. It really like, it was hard to grasp how much you could do. And then as I saw people's builds and got more comfortable with the game, it was just like, okay, hold on a second. All right, that's the one. That's way better. Yeah. I do wish the item that is being picked up would highlight or something. Yeah. I've made a lot of mistakes. I guess the nice thing is it's just patience for me. Like, I think the system is good enough in the sense that most of the time I pick up something incorrectly because of my own impatience more than it not giving like a proper indicator. But it's really, really easy to just go crazy and and just start accidentally removing things. As you get more items, then it becomes a serious problem. So for like the average person, not a huge problem. For builders like us, it becomes a problem. Okay. Found like this section starts to get overwhelmingly annoying to pick things up on. When you start mashing stuff, it gets really confusing, like my mechanical stuff. Yeah, some of your stuff is like super intense. Take it easy, gonna go get some sleep. Sounds good, Oozin. Pretty much just gonna finish up these windows and call it anyways. So have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you on the next one. Get in. And then windows. Right. Yeah, some of your statues are like, I would cry making those ones. Easy. Have a good one, Oozin, says Joe. Just get these cleaned up and then take one last look at this beauty. Boom. And then we just mirror it on this side. And no one will ever know that it's not a real window. Just have to like build a frame here. Yeah, something like that. What am I looking at? It's worth the tears. It is a pain. I feel so much more accomplished building in this game. I think is part of what I really enjoy. Like, I don't know if I've ever built something in a game that I feel like this crazy cool about. Like, although there's a long ways to go, like, the accomplishment of seeing this as, like, something I built in a video game is, like, insane to me. Like, of course, it's not perfect. It's not, like, an immaculate system. It's still blocky in places. I just step back and I'm like, this is going to look insane. It's going to be super fun. Just gets me so excited to see, like, all the things that you could do and come up with. It's really fun. More pain than ever, but it's just like I've just never quite. I've always felt a level of excitement in stuff building, but there's something about this game that like takes it to a different level. Oh. I sort of like, I guess like previously I'd think of it as like, how many times can I say like, I could see myself forcing myself to build and really enjoy it. Like I always thought it was cool, but I was always pushing. Whereas this game is like forcing me to really build, like more realistic than any other game. Other ones were just build big and crazy. Like most games like this look worse the closer you get to the build, and Enshrouded the opposite. Yes, it's exactly like my grounded stuff it looks like that top 10 build tips thumbnail. Like I still to this day just freaking love that thumbnail because I think that build looks so cool. I'm really proud of that build. But as you get closer and closer, the details don't get better and better. This is like every step you see more to it. You see like just tinier and tinier things, more and more little things you can do. And you don't have to force it. Like it's just something that's inherently part of the game. Whereas details in other games are like, how can you force them to be more detailed? How can you force it to be more interesting? Grounded was exactly that the whole way. Or this is like forcing me to just be more detailed. Be more creative, build more interesting things is the whole point. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be tracing tomorrow. That way, Friday's stream, we have a good idea of how we're going to deal with these situations, and can even start maybe on some of that stuff. But it took us a whole stream to build that out, but we also worked on a bunch of random crap. Yeah, all right. I'm going to call it here. Appreciate everyone hanging out for the night. I do have to take care of my son Friday, so I might be late. I think I'll still be streaming either way, but my wife's out with friends, so I have to put him to bed. And he does not go to bed for me as well as he does for her. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I'll keep everyone updated in the Discord, and I'll probably just schedule the stream for 8 o'clock or a little later or something. We'll see how it goes. But appreciate you guys hanging out. Been a great one. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace.